This a few years ago, I don't know why this took me so long to realize. I realized that most of the time when we receive a text, we read the text in the mood that we are in that moment. You'll get a text from a friend of yours and their text will be curt. It will be quick. It'll be short. You said something long enough usage to them and they might reply, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a great space and you feel secure and you feel connected with them, you read it as like, okay, cool. But if you're not and you're having a terrible, you read and you're like, okay, cool. And you're like, whoa, what's that supposed to mean? And you find that text will be spinning in your, like people do this in relationships all the time.
I was going to say, is this a romantic relationship?
No, I find people do it with everything. Parents with kids, bosses with employees, romantic relationships. People are like, why did you say it like that?
Yes.
That's what I mean. It's all based on our attachment. It's pretty amazing how a text. So what I do now, just because I know I understand that it affects me as well. I will now, a lot of the phones have a transcription feature. So if I send like a message to my friend, sometimes I'll send it as a voice note, but I'll send the transcription so you can hear how I felt. And then you can read what I was saying at the same time.
It's doubling down and
it's so much fun.
So this got my brain pinging the other day. And just to I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts, but we're prospecting and we send emails. We take time to write that email and we read it in the voice in our head. But when the prospect receives it and they don't know you, they read it in the voice in their head. And sometimes they may not understand what you're saying or their mood that they're in dictates the response. And as you said, Sam, it was quite a positive response back to that person. But this got me thinking about using voice notes and maybe even that transcription. What do you guys and girls think about?
Good. It would work. See, just hearing that, it kind of made me think of when my dad sends me like a thumbs up. Depending on what mood I'm in, I'm just like, rude for a start. What you doing? When realistically, he's just like, that just means okay or cool. He's just like, I don't see it as a rude thing. Suppose it's like, it probably can creep into that thing. Like if I'm speaking to a prospect that's maybe a little bit older, they probably are like, I don't want to use emojis. What the heck is this? Get that away. But then maybe if I'm speaking to somebody similar age to myself, they could maybe use words that I'm like, oh yeah, right, okay. I can maybe get away with saying this, or I can maybe get away with wording it in a certain way. So it does make you think. Probably is something that we should be doing a lot more. Because again, there's texts that I read from friends or family, and I'm like, okay, do you hate me? Like, but realistically, it's like people are busy. People have lives. They're not expecting us to message or speak to them. Let's be honest. It's just, we're just in the way of what they're currently doing. So we need to grab their attention somehow.
Love it. Said perfectly. I can appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody else? Any thoughts about voice notes? And yeah, Dan?
I agree with that. Definitely that, all of that. I think as well, it speaks to how we're leaving a voice note and being positive on there as well. It kind of reinforces the positivity behind what you're trying to do as well. I think that's insightful for sure.
Sam, thoughts?
For me personally, I actually think it's a better idea. I think that it is a better idea to actually do a voice note because, like you say, you don't know how the person is going to read it, and they could be quite made. But it's also good to put a voice to the product, to what the message that you're saying. So if it's a little bit more positive, or even if you are like just on a cooler tone and speaking, it actually makes the person out more. But my thing would be, I'm thinking, would it matter on the title, the type of person that you are sending those voice notes to? Because I could possibly say, even someone at senior level, I don't think that really matters. A founder, possibly, but actually, I don't think it matters on the type of person. But I think the voice note, and depending on what you're selling, should go hand in hand. Actually, should be a good attempt to.
But